Okay, good day, everyone. I'm here to present for a discussion of formative assessment. I'll show you a learning module that develops three competencies, namely uh, reading, writing, and speaking. So we will be using the story "The Metamorphosis" by Kafka. So, and in the learning module, ESA or Engage, Study, Activate, first one is Engage or in the motivation part. So, the activity here is there's initial reflection and discussion. So, the objective here is to capture students' interest and stimulate critical thinking about transformation and identity. So, the procedure begin the lesson by asking students to reflect on the following questions. So this is the example question, or maybe you can just uh, add more to this. Then allow students a few minutes to think and then have them share their thoughts in pairs or small groups. And after the discussion, ask few groups to share their ideas with the class. So and then you introduce the story, the metamorphosis, and explain that it explores themes of transformation, identity, and alienation. So this is how you do it. So um, this like first you start with the greetings, of course. Good day, everyone. Today we're going to explore the fascinating and thought-provoking story by Franz Kafka called The Metamorphosis. So this story delves into themes of transformation, identity, and alienation. But before we dive into the text, I want you to start with a question to get you thinking. Okay, so imagine waking up one day and finding that you have completely changed into something else. What would you do? How would you feel? Take a moment to think about this scenario. I'll give you 1 to 2 minute thinking time to reflect your answers. Okay, so 2 minutes done. Now, turn to the person next to you. It could be left or right, is your preferences, and share your thoughts. What would your first reaction be? How do you think this change would affect your life? Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to discuss it in pairs. Okay, then 3 minutes done. All right, so let's hear some of your ideas. Who would like to share what you discussed? Okay, let's hear from Katniss. Okay, thank you. How about from Kieran? All right, good. Kevin? That's nice. Lazzy? Good. Andrea? Then Faith? Okay, thank you. Brian? All right. Okay, good. And Joanne? Next is I see. So I love your perspective in using humor as a coping mechanism. So finding a way to laugh about difficult or absurd situation that can be powerful tool for managing stress and anxiety. Okay, so thank you for sharing, everyone. So these reflections are important because they relate directly to the themes we will encounter in the metamorphosis. So in this story, the main character, Grigor's Samsa, wakes up one morning to find that he is transformed into a giant insect. So this transformation leads to profound changes in his identity and his relationship with his family. So let's read the first part of the story to see how this unfolds. Okay. All right, so in the second learning module here is the study part, so dissecting the lesson. So the activity is reading and analysis of the metamorphosis. So the objective here is deepen understanding of the text and its themes through guided reading and analysis. So the procedure here is assign students to read the first part of the metamorphosis after Grigor's first interaction with his family. Then after that, after reading, provide students with the following questions to facilitate analysis. Okay, then there will be group discussion. You organize students into small groups to discuss their answers to the guiding questions. So encourage them to cite specific passages from the text to support their interpretations. And there's a class sharing, so bring the class back together and have each group share one key insight from their discussion. So fostering a larger conversation about the text. Okay, so this is how you will do it for the study or dissecting the lesson. Now I will assign you to read the first part of the Metamorphosis. Please read up to the point where Grigor first interacts with his family. So as you read, think about the following guiding questions. Okay, so how does Grigor feel about this transformation at the beginning of the story? What are the immediate reactions of Grigor's family to his change? What themes of identities and alienation can you identify in this section? So I'll give you 10 minutes to read. Okay? All right. Now that you've read the text, okay, 10 minutes done. So now that you've read the text, let's break into small groups. Let's divide it into 8 groups. So you discuss your answers to the guiding questions. Make sure to cite specific passages from the text to support your interpretations. I'll give you another 5 minutes to discuss this in your groups, and after that you will share it in the class. Okay. All right, time's up. So let's come back together as a class. So I'd like each group to share one key insight from a discussion. So what did you find interesting or significant? Okay, let's start from group 1. Okay. Okay, that thank you for sharing that insight, Group One. You've touched on a very important theme in the Metamorphosis. Okay, Gregor's transformation indeed highlights a deep sense of alienation that can occur when someone is unable to fulfill their expected role within their family or society. So, can can anyone else relate to this idea of feeling alone even when surrounded by others? Okay, how about Group Two this time? Okay, great observation, Group 2. So, you've highlighted the crucial aspect of Rigor's character and the broader themes of the story. Okay, so this raises important questions about how do we define ourselves and how much our self worth is influenced by external factors like our jobs or societal expectations. So, it can, okay, so how do you think this theme applies to our lives today? So, do you think people still struggle with their sense of identity and self worth based on their careers? So, I want you to reflect that. Okay, let's hear from group 3. Okay, that's an excellent analysis. So, you've captured the essence of how Gregor's metamorphosis serves as a catalyst for revealing the true nature of his family's relationships. Okay, so it prompts us to consider like how often we may prioritize our needs over the well-being of those we claim to love. So how do you think this theme conditional love resonates in our own families or communities? Okay, now let's proceed to group 4. Okay, thank you for sharing that insightful perspective, group 4. So you've highlighted a critical theme in the metamorphosis, the impact of societal expectations on individual identity and self worth. Okay, so the Gregor's transformation serves as a powerful critic of how society often measures a person's value based on their economic contributions. So, how do you think this critic of societal expectations applies to our lives today? Do you see similar pressures in our own society? And how do they affect people's sense of self? And group 5. Okay, thank you. Group 6, Group 7. Okay, Group 8. That's a thought provoking interpretation. Group 8. So, viewing Gregor's transformation as a metaphor for personal change is a powerful lens through which to analyze the story. So, change, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, often brings about fear and uncertainty, not just for the individual undergoing the transformation, but also for those around them. So, how do you think our reactions to change can shape our relationships? Can you think of examples from your own lives where a significant change affected your connections with others? I want you to reflect that. Okay, great job today, everyone. Now, for your take home assignment, I want you to engage with the text on a deeper level. So this is where you introduce in the activate part the take home assignment. So there is a writing and speaking task here. So objective: assess students' understanding and encourage creative expression through writing. And the procedure: there is writing task. You assign students to write personal narrative, 1 to 2 pages, and there is speaking task, of course, like presentation, PPT. Okay, and this is there will be feedback, tier feedback. So this is how you will do in the activate part. Like, okay, great job today, everyone. Now for your take-home assignment, I want you to engage with the text on a deeper level. So your assignment is you will write a personal narrative from the perspective of Grigor Samsa after his transformation. Your narrative should be 1 to 2 pages long and reflect on the themes of alienation, identified identity, and that's identity and human condition. And be sure to use specific references to the text to support your ideas. And in addition to that, in the speaking task, so in addition to your writing, you prepare a 3 to 5 minute presentation summarizing your personal narrative. So you focus on the key insights class about Gregor's transformation and how your understanding of identity has changed through this activity. So use visual aids like slides or drawings to enhance your presentation. And after that, there will be peer feedback. Okay, so after you present, we will have a feedback session where you can provide constructive comments on each other's work. Focus on clarity, engagement, and depth of analysis in your peers' presentation. Okay, any questions? And I'm excited to see how you all interpret Grigor's experience and the themes of the story in your narratives and presentations. So remember, this is an opportunity to express your creativity and critical thinking. So if you have any questions about the assignment, you can raise your hand right now or feel free to ask me after class. Okay, so happy writing, everyone, and I look forward to your presentation next week. Okay, and before we end this class, want you to think this final thought. So, as we navigate our own transformation in life, let's remember that change can be both challenging and enlightening. How can we embrace the unknown while staying true to ourselves? Okay, and that's it for today, and thank you for listening. Have a great day.